Hello, my name is Roach, as always, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Minecraft. As you can tell, I have been, well, getting shot a whole lot, and hopefully you can't hear it too much, but I am using a different microphone. That's because, simply put, if you remember last time, I was moving. And as you're moving, you lift heavy boxes. I, of course, threw my back out. So now I am in bed, having to use a headset. Hopefully it sounds decent. If it doesn't, my deepest apologies. But this is going to be where we're going to start. Basically, I want to build a big, what functions as a big mountain around this. Um, Following this general shape, probably I'll bring this back a little bit farther. I'll make a little sandstone outline around that we probably can't see anything of, but it's going to essentially start actually in front of these guys, somewhere around right here, and it's going to just go around, something like this, and up. Maybe not to height limit, or maybe so. Depending on where we're at and how much room we have. I want it to be, I'd say, about 50% taller than these guys. So if that takes us to height limit, great. If it doesn't, well, I don't really know. But it's going to go basically all the way around and all the way into this back area too. This will all be leveled out. But I probably actually won't finish the back until I finish all of the farms inside, because this is where I want the farms to be. Of course, this is going to start out with just your typical creeper farm, along with a farm for bone meal and a farm for sugarcane. That way I've got plenty of rockets. Of course, I've also eventually found all of the books that I, well, need in the very short term. Of course, I have Unbreaking 3 here, as well as Mending there. I'll close those up just to make sure they don't end up dying, and they probably will at some point because I'm an idiot. But what's going to happen with them is they're actually going to end up inside the farms as well. I'm thinking of making it tiered on the inside. I have no idea what the inside of this temple looks like in actuality, but I want it to be practical. So this right here, in case you're curious, is going to be the entrance. And then, well, I'll just let you wait and see. It's not all going to be finished today, but hopefully, with time, I'll be able to get it all done. So let's go ahead and make the outline, and I will see you again in just a second.
And just like that, the front is almost done. Done-ish, I should say. Of course, that, I think I'm going to end up moving that into the left head there, and then have another one down below just so as I can get into the nether. And on top of the roof of the nether. But, I mean, this will also probably be a little bit bigger, maybe even a little bit farther out. Now, admittedly, I don't have the back done, and I don't think I will be getting the back done anytime soon. But we've started on just the very first farm here, which, if you're familiar with this shape, then you know that it's going to be a creeper farm. And then we'll also have a sugarcane farm, and that should take care of all of my rocket needs. Now, this of course will be the entrance. Exactly how far back this is going to go, I have no idea. It just depends on, really, it just depends on how many farms I end up making. I'd like to have a tree farm. I'd like to have a lot of just AFKable farms, because that just seems like the best thing to do. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of caving. I'm just going to have to make sure all of the caves are lit up so so's my farms here will actually work. And I think after that, then we can truly start on the end game stuff as far as just making a huge villager trading hall, perhaps in the back, multiple tiers here. I'm going to make a simple one at the moment. And then, of course, decorating the inside. Exactly how that's going to end up decorated, I'm not 100% sure, but it is going to look interesting. And I'd love to hear what you think, whether or not this should be kept kind of like it is now, or whether or not I should make it look to where it is almost falling apart. I can't really decide whether I want it to seem brand new or seem falling apart. Ooh, also, I'm going to have to move this guy into there. But I think for now, that's probably, well, for now, that's all I'm going to talk to you guys about while I go and finish up, or rather, start even more, the creeper farm on the inside. And after a full month of not really doing much at all, this is where we are at. See, if we go all the way back here, and I'm sure you'll notice I still don't have an elytra, even though I can technically go and get it. I still need to finish up that little thing, patch that, make this a little bit more rounded. If you've noticed, I've got a little thing on the side going on there, which I'm going to have to figure out a way to cover that up, as well as a little area all the way on top for AFKing. But let's take a look and see just how much stuff we do have. In the iron farm, I've done a little bit of AFKing here, so hopefully this was somewhat in range. If it wasn't, well, oh well. But, ooh, that seems like a good amount there. And I believe, I actually don't know if the very top will have any extra either, but this would be much easier with an elytra, of course. But here we are. That is completely full. Okay, well, that's a great sign. That is an even better sign. So give me a minute while I get this taken care of. And after all of that AFK time, it looks like I have altogether, I mean, what is that, 9 full blocks? Full stacks of blocks of iron and, well, even more. Who knows how many poppies. So ultimately, while this has been quite a small project, it has worked very, very well, much better than I could honestly ever really hoped for. Hopefully, this is all of the iron I'm going to need for quite some time. But in the meantime, we're actually going to just stick all of this back in here and move on to the look around. So, of course, what we've done, and I'm sure you can guess here, is we have made a creeper farm. Because ultimately, before I get elytra, I need a few things. I need mending, I need unbreaking, which you saw I've already had, and then I need rockets. And, I mean, I could just continue doing this kind of a sugarcane farm, which works just fine, but ultimately what I wanted to do was something like this, and I kind of want multiple levels of this. Now, this doesn't look good. Even I know this, but it works. So let's see if we can see it happen. Actually, I'll just kind of show you. Ultimately, I wanted this to go whenever it's at 1 block, and the only way I could think to do that is either a hopper clock an etho hopper clock, or figure out some way of making this work. Now this I initially thought would just work without all of this madness, and maybe it will. I'd love for you guys to know, but I wanted to try it with my own Minecraft skills, make a little contraption here. The problem I was having with this is if it grew, it would, of course, the observer would observe that, it would send a signal, break it, but then the observer would also see the movement of the piston, and then you just ended up having a pulse here, which you didn't want. You're basically creating a lag machine, which isn't ideal. So the question then is, how do I reset it? And the answer really is a sticky piston. Like, this should be a sticky piston that pushes it up and pulls it back down. But I didn't have any slime, so I couldn't do that. So instead, I worked out the timings to where this pushes up one block, and then the movement from this actually causes it to get pushed back down. It's almost like a little not very good flying machine. And when it does that, so when it grows one, it pushes that this direction, which that actually did go all the way across. And of course we're getting a little bit of loss, but this harvests, and I don't have any ice, so I had to do it this way, but it worked out just fine. So now I have two places that I need to do that. And now eventually what I'd like to do is to get some, ice lines. And when I get those ice lines, I can make an automatic farming system, or an automatic crafting system of rockets. Now, this ultimately, I want this to be running as I'm AFK, which I think this will work. I'll have to double check. But AFK here, which it doesn't look like I've got a lot, but I do. Of course, it's here, and then we've got all of this, and I've already brought out all of this. This will, of course, be used for trading, but I think that is basically exactly what I want it to do. My little platform, let's see, I've got plenty of time, is going to be up here, little AFK platform, and admittedly, I just kind of turned the monitor off and left it here for quite a while, and then everything was overflowing. I actually don't know any of the spawn rates. This, of course, is my own contraption. Not very good, but it's for the spiders, because I kind of wanted the extra string, but the spiders kind of build up in the corner, so I made this, a little 2x2 or 2x1 block of water on the very top, and so they actually go all the way up here and suffocate, and then their drops fall. And then this, oh, interesting. I think a little bit of griefing there from an Enderman. But this, of course, is going to be my AFK platform, and I stayed here for several days. So it is safe, which I love that. But what I need to do is also get some soul sand here. Once I get up here, there it is. Quite literally just a 1x1 area, but at this 1x1 area, technically you can see my little starting spot, which it is nice, and it works just fine. There, of course, are my villagers. One of them died. I'm gonna have to make this all work again. And one more thing to show you. In order to get the moss, I've started to dig a bit of a hole. So let's go over to the hole. And I think you can kind of start to see now exactly how I dug this hole. I mean, the hoe would have been a good indication there. But I've just slowly started making my way down. Of course, there's that, a 5x5 hole straight down. I'll probably dig this all the way down to bedrock, to be honest with you. just because, why not? And of course, I need to light all of this up to make my farm just a little bit better. Now, once again, my apologies for it being a full month since the last time I was on, but, you know, life happens. And this isn't what I do for a job, I'm just doing this for fun. Of course, this, I need to figure out how to make this work. I've got the 2 villagers here, which once again is perfectly fine. But what I need to do is figure out, I think Ray's Works has a little villager farm that is a breeder as well as something that automatically harvests and gives me wheat, beets, and carrots, I believe, and potatoes. So I'll probably do that. And then, of course, I also am going to end up needing a bone meal farm, and I think you can probably guess the best bone meal farm is going to be by means of what I used for the base of the sugar cane, the moss. It just, and again, I could definitely look up one. I think I'm going to try to make my own again. It's not going to be perfect. In fact, it's probably going to be terrible, but I would absolutely love to give it a shot. Of course, here I think we're going to end up covering a lot of this. I'd like this to be all glass going up, like a little bit easier access to basically all of this. But to do all of that, I'd like to move in a villager trading hall, and I think that's going to be devoted to basically, well, I'll put a big wall here. It's going to be basically multiple rows right here. And then in front of that, we're going to have the bone meal farm. We're going to have, if I can find bamboo, that would be great to make a super smelter. Or rather the fuel for the super smelter. And then I'd like a tree farm, but to do that, once again, I need slime. I'm going to need honey, and so we have to find silk touch. And so there is an awful lot to do, and I think now that I've done this, I'll do a little bit of AFK, get a bunch of rockets, or at least as many as I can, and then I will, of course, make paper, get the books that I need, and then we'll go to the end, do a little bit of end busting. And I think that will just about, well, I think this just about rounds up this episode. And of course, next episode, next video, that is what we're going to do. We're going to be going to the end, trying to not die, not fall, which probably will end up happening. But once again, thank you so much for watching. Again, my apologies for being so late. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like or subscribe. If you didn't, please let me know what I can do better. Even if you did like it but think I can do something better, please do let me know. Thank you again for watching. This is Roach, and I will see you again next time. Bye.